What's up YouTube? This is Rambo coming to you today with a cutoff video. Today we're going to be looking at Yemen Hardpoint, one of the few maps that I haven't done yet, and I'm getting back on track with those videos. So as we currently look at my class setup video, we have the MSMC with the long barrel and the extended mags, and I'm using 5 perks, green 1 and green 3, as I'm using extreme conditioning, dexterity, and a lightweight and flat jacket as a those are pretty good perks to run around with, to roam around with. Obviously, Flat Jacket allowed me to not die from grenades, and Dexterity allowed me to get around faster around these jump ups that there's a few of them on Yemen, so Dexterity can be very useful. So as you look at the first hard point, it's actually really good to control the outer part of the map and not the second hill, which is the treehouse hill. You kind of want to avoid that section of the map as you can get a good setup going. As you can see, the green areas are kind of like your setup positions. The yellow areas are your cutoffs. So if you play this right, you pretty much give your opponents three different alleyways, mostly two, which would be the bottom purple stairs and the middle arch to get to the middle hard point. So if you have a guy hiding there, you can easily rack up a lot of time on the middle hill. So let's get on board. As you can see, my team's going to try and control the right side of the map as much as they can. Cutting off mid-street with an AR is very important off the break. As you see, I'm blind. I actually saw one there and I didn't end up reacting, but I got away from him, so it's all good. This was a show match that we played against them. We ended up losing. We were up like 3 or 4 to 1, and ended up losing like 5 to 4. I think it was the best of 9. So for those who are intrigued as to where is this gameplay from, but as you can see, I have the hill control right now. My team is not completely set up on the outer part of the map, so I'm not going to get that much cover. So this is a bit of more a scrappy time than the good time. So around the 10-15 second mark, you're going to see us try and control treehouse. That's pretty much what you want to try and do. I'm still trying to cut off some time off this middle hill as much as I can, keeping the team off of it and keeping my team on it. As you can see, we do get our somewhat of a setup there going, but it's a bit late, so going to try and get some hill control on the next hill right away. So there is 5 seconds left of this hill, so as we're going to be seeing the little graph here like normal of the second hill, it's pretty much you want to control the top side of it. It's much easier to make him spawn on the bottom right side part of your screen. They pretty much have one alleyway to run through if you play this right, so it makes it very difficult for opponents to break this and gives them a harder time and a harder point of access to hill 3. So if you control the statue area of the top side of the hill, you'll have a really easy time controlling the setup in this hill. One of the things I want to note is that most people try and cut off the hill from the hill itself. You wanna have a lot of people between that second and right side cutoff in the middle there. It's really important to cut off the hill away from it, because the more you cut off from inside, there's a lot of point of access to this hill. Like you can see, there's the rock side here, the little window. There's like 2 windows and a door to cut off. So for cutting this hill off from the hill itself, it makes it very difficult. So as you can see, my team wasn't necessarily controlling the statue well there. Our setup is this was a gameplay from I believe a few weeks ago. So it's not entirely where our setup is a bit better at it now. We're a bit better at controlling this hill. So, but as you can see, I'm always spawning statue, which gives me a really easy access to the hill and helping my hill cut off. So as always, cutting away from the hill is a point I'm going to make over again, because it's really easy to give up a hill if you don't control away from it. Pretty much it gives you 2 chances. The object of a setup is to give your team more than a chance to get the cutoff. So example, I'm cutting off away from the hill, I die, I have the time to spawn if my team is controlling spawns to actually get control of the hill again. So as we can see, this is hill 3 setup. There's not a defined setup on hill 3. It's really about staying alive and controlling middle. Middle is the biggest, most important area, as if you control middle, you kind of give your middle hill guy a chance to either cut off left or right if ever it comes down to it. So but as you see, there's pretty much the bottom side, the top side, and the middle side. Controlling either or is obviously the most important thing. As you can see there, I'm not even sure how I got 2 kills out of that, but I did, and that's cool. So I could see on my mini map where the opponents were coming from. So I go on a bit of a kill streak here and get my hailstorm and my lightning strike. As my teammate dies middle, I get a call out, so I'm just gonna pre-fire this guy. He's eventually gonna come out because they always come out, and call it out. Another call out that I responded to there. But as you can see at this point, my team's losing control. So there's 30 seconds left. I don't know if I use my lightning strike here or not, and I fuck up my teammate. As my team gets 3 dead, I'm not going to use it actually. I probably would have used it to break if not, but there's 20 seconds left, and the next hill is the most important hill on this map. It's definitely the hill that you will rack up the most amount of time on, which being the Church Hill. So losing control of this third hill at the very end is actually something that I've found to be decent, because if you do keep control of that third hill, you kind of go up 3v4. You saw me pop up my lightning strike there. It was more for the ping. So as we can see right now, you want to control the east side of the map on the way right, as you can see on the mini map, because this allows you control over the middle. One thing you want to do when you do have the hill control that I don't really point out on this graph is on the second cutoff from the bottom, which is the alleyway that leads to the middle part of the map, you want to kind of push through that. For the most reason being that if you do push through that, you can cut off the window without your hill guy having to win those gunfights. We've seen a lot of things like people like from Farico, Karma, and Killa using, I don't know if Karma does it, but I know Killa does it, uses a shotgun on this hill. Something very, very effective actually. So using those type of usage of weapons and such on a hill of this type where it's really close up can be really useful. So right here I respond to a call out of the hill guy. Didn't really go for the hill guy, and a lot of things you'll see from our team is people using RC cars and fucking up our setup. As you can see, I'm pretty sure it's Clayster. I'm going to call him out on the spot right here because he does that a lot. But hopefully he can stop using RC cars, and it comes down to it. Because he uses them in Search and Destroy, so when we switch around game types, sometimes we forget to switch our score streaks and such. So shit happens, I guess. But as you can see, this hill being very good hill for them. They controlled a lot of time and actually got the lead out of it. So something that, like I said, that's the hill you're going to get the most time out of. So pretty much every hill in this map you can get time out of if you play it right. So this hill number 5 is where you want to use your score streaks the most. This is the hill that you'll get the more kills, at least 2 or 3 kills at a good Hellstorm, unless they get in purple. But normally people, unless you pretty much are dominating completely, they won't really expect it. So as you can see, the 3 main cutoffs, and you want to control Treehouse. The reason why you want to control Treehouse is because it makes it really difficult for the other team to get access point. You can use the barrels, which pretty much gives them like 2 choke points mainly if they spawn on top of the hill, which is what you want to force. So if you control Treehouse, first of all, it gives you easy access to the hill because you have a few head glitches, including the window and the outer part of that little rail thing that leads to the hill, and then you have the bottom part, which I was looking at there a second ago. So it's harder to cut off the hill from them coming from the bottom than it is from them coming to the top. As you can see, my team's pretty much dying one at a time, so it makes it pretty difficult. As you can see right there, I had to cut off a choke there, and I pretty much got shot by 3 guys. So this is where the difficulty comes in to cut off, and you really have to win a lot of gunfights. While if you push them towards the top and they have to come down the hill, they pretty much have nothing, no cover or nothing, so they kind of got to run into. So this is why I decided to flank through middle off spawn to try and force these spawns. So as you can see, my team is starting to spawn on the bottom. My teammates didn't turn around, and that ended up not being so great. So obviously, like I said, this is the gameplay. These are things that we realize when we play through time. We're still a somewhat new team, so these are things that we'll start to realize and do things upon as we go on. So right now we have a really good setup. As you can see, I have my teammate watching my door. I have a teammate watching bottom purple stairs. So the only way they can really kill me from right now is if they come from all the way around the map, which will take at least a good 10 to 15 seconds for them to do off a treehouse spawn. So we're gonna get a lot of good time off this middle hill. They're constantly trying to block it. As you can see, I got killed by a guy, but he probably spawned like when the hill popped, or when he first died going from the hill. So it took him a good amount of time to get there. So as you can see, we got our setup right back. That player pretty much is in a trading situation, the guy who comes down the hill, so he'll kill me, but he'll get killed right after. So as you can see, again, we weren't really paying attention to that hill setup, so we actually do lose control again. At this point, we should be pushing for treehouse, as they are spawning on that hill, so they're going to come through the alleyway, which is a really easy access point. I kind of pursued a hill there to try and get my score streaks. I do get 100 killer because I got the hills captured, and then I got off the hill to let the guy get on it, which are things you can do at the very end of a hill setup. So as you can see, there was 2 dead there. There was 2 players that were in the outer parts of the map, so my team should have been getting control of that hill, but they weren't. Things that happen, obviously. So I try and push up rapidly before they get control. These are the biggest kills right here. When you first go for a hill break, these are the most important parts of the hill, as they didn't get cutoffs yet. So my team's doing a really poor job at trying to break this right now. We were being really slow, and we weren't doing things right there. We should have been more aggressive on that. Clayster thankfully gets a 2-piece with his cap 40 whatever. So That really helped us get control of this hill. And as you can see, we start getting the top spawns as we go for control over this. We push through the hill. We didn't sit back, and that pretty much gives the other team the bad spawns. And at this point, giving us a good time to push for the next hill. So at this point, I'm just trying to get score streaks as there's 10 last seconds on this hill. We've seen these hills again, so obviously at this point it's just kind of like a reminder. I'm going to try and give you guys for the cutoffs. Once again, I get the middle cutoff, which is the most important cutoff. This is probably the best play to get there. As you can see, the other team's suicides. That's because they got really bad spawns. As the second hill moves to this top hillside, you'll spawn if you do have the bottom hill spawn, which is the alleyway that leads to the back of the map. You'll keep spawning there until the hill moves. So two of the opponents actually got those spawns, so they suicided to try and get better spawns off that. But they did keep. I'm pretty sure they got bad spawns anyways. As you can see, we're pretty much getting this hill uncontested. They're not really doing much to cut off this, and they're pretty much gonna. It's pretty much costing them the game at this point. But I do get team killed there. I do have my lightning strike, so I haven't really used yet. I don't like wasting my score streaks. I'm not a player that'll get them that often unless I'm playing hills, which is something I try and do as often as possible, obviously, since I like playing objective rise for my team. But at that point, that was a huge kill on my part. If I would have killed that, would have given my team control of the church side, but they do get control of that. So that was a really important kill for that player that killed me. I was running out of ammo at that point. So, but as you can see, we're going for a break. The kills around the hill are most important, and then again the kills. That's why this hill is so hard to break, is because the kills around the hill are very important, and then the kills on the hill are even harder to get because there's only 2 doorways you can come through. So it makes it super difficult for anyone to break. And as you can see, I'm trying to kill around the hill at this point as much as I can while my team pushes the hill. So we're still up by a good amount at this point. We're up for a good 40 seconds, and we do break the hill. So that pretty much ends the game for our opponents, as they needed to control this hill to the fullest. As time's running out here, we're up by a good 60 seconds, and there's 60 seconds left on the clock. So this gameplay is pretty much over at this point. There's a minute left, and the game is mathematically impossible for them to come back. So I'm going to use this time to talk about a little things. Mainly UMG Chicago is this weekend, so I want everyone to watch that stream. I'll be tweeting it out. If you're not following me on Twitter already, my new Twitter is rnx_Rambo. I would really appreciate it if you could follow that Twitter, and obviously you'll be getting all the intel and updates on as to what's happening with me and my YouTube channel and such. I will be starting to post these YouTube videos more regularly, hopefully. As UMG is this weekend, I might not be able to do it as much, but when I come back in New Year's, I'll be posting as many gameplay as I can. As you can see, I went 38 and 20 there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be finishing the cutoff video series, and then I'll be making a hill break series, which is going to be explaining how to break hills and how to control these hills to the fullest while you don't have control of them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, if you like it, like it. If you like it again, share it. And yeah, hope you guys have a good day as always. Peace out, guys.